Michael, clearly not too much has changed overall with the red shading over the last week or so when we're zoomed out. But if we zoom in now specifically to Kyiv, we'll see there's quite a lot going down beneath the surface, including some successful counterattacks by the Ukrainians here around Kyiv.
Yes, indeed. I mean, as we see there, the Ukrainians seem to have, or they claim to have created some successful counterattacks at Irpin, at Bucha near there, Hostomel, the very important airfield. Whether or not they've got the airfield, the Russians certainly aren't using it, so they're achieving their objective. And by and large, the Ukrainians are getting in behind the Russians at certain points along the perimeter, making it very hard for the Russians to continue their encirclement of Kyiv, which was obviously their strategic objective.
And we heard the announcement today that Russia's going to reduce its focus on Kyiv. It sounds like that might not be something completely of their own choice.
I suspect it's a rationalisation of the military situation they now find themselves in.
Let's now go from Kyiv down to the east, then the southeast of Ukraine, and have a look at what's going on here. In the week ahead, what will be Russia's main objective in this region?
Yeah, some things are happening which don't seem connected, but they're very connected. The Ukrainians have conducted a pretty big counterattack at Trostyanets. And that is an important crossroads between the city of Sumy and Kharkiv, and also a crossroads to Poltava further south. And the point is the Ukrainians are trying to prevent the Russians finishing off Kharkiv. That's really important. The Russians want to finish off there. They want to finish off at Mariupol to redeploy their troops. Meanwhile, at Severodonetsk, which is the new capital of the Luhansk region, because the Ukrainians have got to work from somewhere, they're fighting very hard around there, again, to stop the Russians reorganising their troops. What the Russians want to do is to draw a line from Kharkiv down to Mariupol, to push southwards, to push northwards, and isolate the Ukrainian troops who are the wrong side of that line.
And so what forces does the Ukrainians have in this area? Will they be able to easily repel the Russians there? What are the choices there for them?
Well, they've got 10 brigades, which is about 50,000 troops, and they are the best of the Ukrainian army. So it's about a third of the Ukrainian army is in that area. And if they are encircled, they either have to choose to fight the encirclement or maybe withdraw, give up the fight, as it were, in the east in order to live another day and perhaps defend Kyiv in the weeks to come.
And so even if the Russians are successful in taking this region, which again is just zoomed in on only the southeast of the nation, I guess it's all relative because even Odessa in this region is a long way from the red shaded area. So it's a kind of reduced objective of the Russians.
For sure. I mean, the Russians were clearly pushing westwards to Odessa. That was a big strategic objective in order to landlock Ukraine, to actually cut off all of their access to the sea. They are further away from Odessa now than they were because Mykolaiv is held and they're being pushed back east from Mykolaiv. So that looks as if it's a big strategic objective which has gone in abeyance while the Russians think about a much more big but minor objective of trying to encircle Ukrainian forces in the east.
Defence and security analyst Michael Clarke, as always, thanks so much. That's the latest for now.